to another episode of How to Talk Your Wife into Buying a Boat. Just kidding. Hey guys, hey Facebook, Dr.Rad here. Want to talk to you about a couple things. First, awesome sauce. The last video we did, which was a sleeve, thank you Philip, it hit 6,200 views I think, and that is insane. Just awesome. I never thought that we could reach so many people, and there were so many great questions that came from that and so many cool things that came from that. So thank you. I believe the most requested thing was to do another video. So we might have to do that. I'm not sure if we're going to do a bypass or maybe a little general surgery, like a gallbladder or the appendix, something like that. But tell you what, send some stuff in. The most votes win. How that? We'll do it all. I have them all on 4K. It'll be a lot of fun. I love going through those surgeries. So okay, that's one. Some more housekeeping. Yeah, sharing. I hate to sound like I'm pimping myself out a little bit, but this is great. And the only way it can continue is if you think it's educational, just share it, please. So just hit the share button now, you're good, right? I don't know how that works, but share it if you think it's educational. Tonight, speaking of education, I wasn't sure I wanted to do this so early in these talks, but I'm going to step on the landmine. So I'm going to warn you all. Diets are like your seventh child. You're very protective of them. Your diet is always best. And there's a lot of myths out there that people think are facts, and they're very sensitive to it. Some people spend a ton of money on diets. I will tell you, let's just get this out of the way. Nutritionists, people who spend their life talking about these things, living and eating and breathing these things, they argue about this stuff all the time. We've changed our mind about these things a million times. So I will go ahead and say that although I'll be spitting out a bunch of facts, I'm going to try to keep it in the reality world, like what actually pertains to everyone I'm talking to. So I think that's important. That's a really big deal for me. Other than that, let's get started. Don't beat me up too bad. This is going to be fun. Okay, I'm going to move over here just because I'm right-handed. So let's do that. I got a bunch of questions this week, by the way. Rockstar, keep it coming. What is your diet? And why did I write it like that? Here's the deal. What is your diet means your diet. Not my diet. Not my wife's diet. Not some random's diet. Your diet. Why? Well, you're an individual, right? Do you actually think, and if this falls down, don't make fun of me. Or just a little bit. That's fine. Do you think that a 75-year-old man would have the same diet as a 14-year-old girl? Hi, Mom. Sorry. Every video, you're gonna get that. Hi, Mom. All right. No, a 75-year-old man is not gonna have the same diet as a 14-year-old girl, who is not gonna have the same diet as Michael Phelps, who is not gonna have the same diet as me. It doesn't make sense, right? It's gotta make sense. The one thing that I think has served me very, very well, not only as a surgeon, but as a doctor, common sense. It's got to make sense, right? It's got to make sense. Life has to make sense for the most part. Okay. Secondly, let me just cut that off. I'm not on call today, and I think that's very important. I can hear the clapping coming through the camera right now. There we go. Yay! This is my first doc talk that I'm not on call, hence no scrubs. So let's go. Let's go. What is a calorie? So let's get nerdy for a second. Let's do that. All right, I'm going to rip that off in a second. What is a calorie? This is important because I want to be factual. I want to be fact-based. So a calorie, it is a form of energy. It's like a joule. It is literally can be converted into joules. It's physics. It is important to remember this. So let's go back there. Something you cannot change. You cannot eat air, right? Air does not have calories in it. Food has calories. How does that break down? What is a fat? What is a carb? What is a protein? So people generalize in these things, right? So like we got cheese, oh, fat. Cottage cheese, fat. We got, these thick Alfredo sauces. These are fat, right? There's lots of fat. Greasy hamburger, pizza. Okay, fatty foods. Let's go to number 2, carbs. Carbs. What are carbs? Everybody generalizes. Oh, this is the candies. These are the breads. These are the pastas. If it tastes good, it's probably a carb. That's the problem, right? They made it taste really good. And what is protein? Protein, we're talking meats, fish, the protein shakes, things of that nature, okay? Now, I want you to think of it like this. Your protein in your body is your muscle, your hair, your nails, things like that. Carbs and fat and protein. Let's look at what they're worth from a calorie standpoint. This is important. Protein and carbs, let's just round them out 4. We're going to call it 4 kilocalories per gram. All right? So when you eat a gram of a protein or carb, you're getting 4 calories out of it. That's awesome. Fat, 9. Fat gets 9. It is more than double the energy value for the same amount per gram as carbs or protein. So why don't we just eat all fat? The problem is, if you don't burn it, it collects as fat in your body. That's the problem. And fat does some other things, right? Cardiovascular disease and other issues like that. So not great just to eat a fat diet. But if you want to get the most bang for your buck for calories, from an energy standpoint, fat's where it's at. Problem is, you eat more fat, you gotta burn that energy to knock it out, right? That's a problem. I didn't put alcohol up here, but let's just talk about it. Alcohol, 7. It's actually somewhere between carbs and protein and fat, right? Carbs, protein, 4, fat's 9, alcohol is a 7. So at least you know where you stand, all right? Now, is a calorie really a calorie? This is the first landmine, and I'm going to go ahead and take a stance over here. You go online, and I'm going to go ahead and plug somebody, even though I don't endorse anything. I promise I can't do that. I don't want to do that. I'm going to go ahead and plug this guy. A gentleman by the name of Lane Norton. All right, I think he goes by BioLane on YouTube. I've learned a great deal from him because he is a PhD in biochemistry. He was like a Mr. Olympian guy, trains Mr. and Mrs. Olympians and sports people. He really digs into the science. And so I love that, right? Because I'm a nerd and I really dig into the science. So if you want to, because I don't have a ton of these talks about individual things, feel free to look him up and learn a lot about the science behind these things. The reason I plug him right now is because is a calorie a calorie? And I will tell you that of all the reading I ever did, I like his argument the best. And the answer is yes. If you eat 2,000 calories a day and you burn 2,000 calories a day, it should not matter whether or not you're eating Twinkies to get your 2,000 calories or fish, right? If you eat 2,000, burn 2,000, from an energy standpoint, you are equal. You just eliminated everything that you ate by exercising it off. Now, we eat, we drink, we breathe, we walk, and we exercise. That's how we burn calories. So it shouldn't matter. Now, let's talk about what's wrong with that concept. From a physics standpoint, it works great. From a reality standpoint, it doesn't. How do you think that calorie is going to store on your body? Let's say that you eat 3,000 calories of Twinkies and you eat 3,000 calories of fish, right? Salmon. Now, you only burned 2,000 calories, so there's 1,000 extra over. How is that Twinkie going to get stored in your body, right? How's your hair going to look? Skin going to look? How's your eyes going to look? How's your health going to be when the extra calories that you have are based off of Twinkies? Right, not the same. Processed food, hormone induction, tons of fat and sugar versus mostly pure protein, a little bit of carbs, and a little bit of fat. Big difference. Now, if you're going to burn all those calories, fine. A calorie is a calorie is a calorie, but not all the time, because if you're not going to burn them all, you're not going to utilize them, they're not just energy, they get stored. How they get stored is it ends up showing on the outside, and how you feel and how you look. So, yes, I think a calorie is a calorie. But if you're going to get stored calories, they're not all the same, right? So, all right, myths. This is the last part on this, and then we're going to get into what I think are good diets. So let's go there. Myths. How about fad diets? So let's just name a few. There was one, a banana diet, not good. Let's talk about water diet. That's where you actually, literally before your meal, you just chug a couple of glasses of water, and somehow this is going to stretch your stomach. It's actually cute, and somebody's going to, I know somebody's going to say, I did that and it worked. Okay, here's the problem. It does work, briefly, right? Because your stomach is based literally on stretch sensors. When your stomach gets stretched, it sends sensors back up the vagus nerve, goes to your brain and says, hey man, I'm full. I'm stretched, I'm full. How long do you think that water is going to stay in your stomach though? Not very long. Liquids empty fairly quickly. In fact, little fact, protein hangs around longer than most things, right? So you actually stay, more satiated or full longer with higher protein dose things. I think fat's next and carbs will be on the end, right? They go through pretty quick. But the idea is that, yeah, you can drink a bunch of water every time you get hungry, but that's not going to last you very long. Then you're going to be hungry, and you're going to be super hungry, and you're going to end up pounding something that you wish you hadn't, right? So that's part of that problem. Fad diets, please stay away from them. Let's talk about literally science-based diets, and that's what's coming up next. Starvation. Starvation, not cool. Somebody said to me, can't I just not eat? Yes, you can. Anorexia, bulimia, they work. They are not healthy. We all know that, but how do they work? Well, you just starve yourself. They are not good for you. They are not healthy. Obviously, I don't endorse that, but does it work? Sure. Here's the problem. When you refeed, when you start eating again, you will gain all of that back in less than half the time, and it will not be the good kind of weight. It is not what you want to do. So do not starve. Nobody should do that. That is silly. I don't even think you should starve when it's like, oh my God, I got 2 weeks for my wedding. Oh my gosh, I got vacation. And none of those things work. Don't do that. You'll look drab and your color will be bad anyway. All right. Here's a cute one. I know you can't read it. It says, do I fit myself to a diet, or do I fit the diet to me? That's a great question. I would tell you, you fit the right diet to yourself. Go back to the question. What is your diet? Your diet. So we're going to talk about this. Let's go on to the next one. All right, here's where we get into the science of food. All right, science-based. That's why I put that at the top. This is super important. First one, let's talk about it. Atkins, keto, South Beach. What am I talking about? I'm talking about a low-carb, high-protein. There are two diets that, if done over and over and over again, the science will tell you that these two diets are the best. Okay? What do I mean by best? They lose the most weight, especially in a brief period of time, but also if extended over 6 months to a year, it's actually proven these are the best. And those are these top two diets. We'll go over the second one in a minute. This is your Atkins diet, low-carb, high-protein. This one actually loses 5% more than a low-fat, moderate carb, moderate protein diet. But the 5%, most people feel like it's actually from diuresis, meaning you actually are a little bit dry, from a fluid standpoint, just because of the content of the low-carb, high-protein that you're doing. It makes you diuretic, and you actually pee out a little bit more, so you're fluid low. So that 5%, I don't think is a big deal, and I don't think it makes too much of a difference in the sense that these are probably the same. And then I'm going to tell you at the end what I tell my patients. So I'm not going to pick a diet. I'm just going to go through the facts. So Atkins diet has been proven to be very, very successful. Many people will say, oh my gosh, there's a problem. We have Dr. Atkins died of a heart attack, and here these things are so bad for you. Not true. None of them have been proven to be bad for you at all. There are some studies that show maybe there's a little more inflammation with a high protein diet, but typically those are also more athletes who are more active, and there's some more inflammation in the body when you're doing that. So no, this diet is not bad for you, and it works really, really well. You want to lose weight fast, this is your diet. Biggest problem with this diet. As soon as you stop, You add carbs back into your diet and you got a problem, right? Because you go carb crazy. So you do this diet, you lose your 30 pounds, your 40 pounds, you feel amazing, and then you go right back on. And man, it comes on, I swear to you, you will gain it in literally the same amount of time that you lost it or faster. And it's not good for you to do that. Okay, so that's a problem. What do I mean by low carb? All right, let's get a little nerdy. Ketosis. Ketosis is where if you go low carb, high protein, so you are really trying to get your carbs way, way, way down. All right, what does that matter? There is one specific organ that works really, really solely on carbohydrates, and that's the brain. Okay, you think your brain's going to go without food and nutrition? No way. It says, hey man, Jason, I really appreciate what you're doing here. You're doing a really low carb thing, and that's great. I know you're trying to lose some weight, but I'm not going to go without nutrition. And you say, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Brain, but Dr.Rad told me that I need to be a low carb diet because I need to lose some weight and get healthier. And your brain says, I really don't care what Dr. Rad said. I need my carbs. And you go, okay, but Dr. Rad told me not to. I'm sorry, I can't do it. Your brain says, okay, no problem. Do your low carb. I'm going to get my carbs from somewhere else. Where do you get your carbs? Your body will burn the fat in your body, your big fat stores. It starts in your liver, it burns all the fat throughout your liver, and then it goes out through all the subcutaneous tissue in your body. It will crush that fat. It takes you sometimes a week or two to burn your glucose reserves, and once you've done that, you will watch your weight just cruise, and it will fly down. Why? It's burning all that fat in your body, transferring it to carbohydrates, because your brain is not going to starve. And that's awesome. That's what we want. They call it ketosis because when you burn that fat, it turns it into some excess breakdown molecules, and those molecules are called ketone bodies, and you actually pee them out, and you can detect that if you pee on a stick. You can buy those sticks at CVS, Walmart, Walgreens, anywhere, and you can literally find out, am I low carb enough to put myself into ketosis where you're really burning those fats? You can go and pee on one of those sticks to do that, to know that. If you want a number and you're a number tracker, I would say keep your carbs between 50 and 70 grams a day. That's how you know you're going to put yourself in ketosis, 50 to 70 a day. You can go under 50, there's really no need to though. All right, low fat, moderate carb, moderate protein. All right, if I had to pick a diet that I think I could do like long term, like for a really like maybe life, this is the one. Why do I like this for life? I love this one for fast weight loss. I like this one for my life. Why? Well, it allows me to do things like eat fruits and vegetables, which I happen to like a lot of. What are fruits and vegetables? Well, they're mostly carbohydrate. That doesn't work so good for your Atkins diet, but it works really well here. Fruits and vegetables, if you're not cooking them in a bunch of butter and oil, they're not very high in fat. So I think it's a healthier diet. Moderate carbohydrates, that means I can have some carbs. I just don't get to crush pasta 7 days a week or eat all the ice cream that I want. And then moderate protein. Well, once you stop working out like a fiend and you don't have those massive athletic goals that maybe once upon a time you had, you can go with moderate protein and your body likes that. You're not overdoing it. So this diet is plausible. The problem is the low fat. From a taste and texture standpoint, this diet is tough. It just doesn't taste as good as ice cream and ice cream sandwiches and things like that. It just doesn't. It is harder to stick to this diet. I think your cardiologist would be happy with you, but if you can get there, it takes some support. The whole family has to be on board with this diet because there's a cabinet. There's a cabinet in my house. It's called the kids cabinet. I don't go in the kids cabinet. And they don't go into mine. Because in the kids cabinet, I won't rob my kids of some of those joyful things like Fruit Loops. They're awesome. I don't do the Fruit Loops though, because they're mostly sugar. So you get my point. I love this diet. It is a wonderful science-based diet. These two have been proven for years to do this, to work well. I will tell you that, in my opinion, there's a protein argument out there. Can you have too much protein? Doesn't protein cause cancer? Doesn't, okay, that is a tough question. We're not going to touch that one because it's a bomb. No one has proven it any way, one way or another. No, I don't believe it does. However, processed foods, maybe. Hormone-injected foods, like, oh, you know, the chicken that we eat that's massively, you know, saturated in hormones, and the antibiotics they gave it. You know, they take a chicken, you know, what used to take 6 months, now it takes 6 weeks to get it to the size to sell it. In fact, it's even bigger. And they do that by pumping hormones into it. And yeah, we're eating that. Now, when you cook it, does it denature that steroid and it doesn't really affect you? Sure, I mean, maybe. But it's a little bit interesting. And all the antibiotics used, that's a massive problem too. It's not what it used to be. Let me also put in a punchline for nutrition from a mineral standpoint, vitamins. The soil doesn't produce like it used to. We absolutely have overfarmed. Vitamin. You will take a vitamin every day, sometimes twice a day. Just do it. If you don't use it, pee it out. Who cares? It is hard to overdose on a vitamin. 1 a day, not a problem. If you are dieting hardcore, oh, I don't know, a hardcore Atkins diet, take 2 vitamins a day, 1 in the morning, 1 at night, and you will not miss those vegetables and fruits that you're doing for a short period of time you're missing out on. Do it. Take a vitamin. Perfect world. Perfect world. This is my perfect diet. Are you ready? Here's the problem. You won't be able to sustain it. And I know that. But you want to know what the perfect diet is? Here it is. It is a macro-based diet, carb controlled. What is that? Okay. This is what my wife does. Because she's probably OCD. Okay. Macros. What does that mean? She literally can, and she does this amazingly. MyFitnessPal, fantastic app. The Fitbit things have it. There's some bariatric ones. There's tons of these, and many of them are free. I think Under Armour bought MyFitnessPal, and that's why it's become so popular. I think Nike's got one too. You can absolutely put in your foods. In fact, most of them have a scanner. Yes, I take my vitamins every day, Mom. Thank you. Yes, that's a question. That's great. Okay, take your phone, MyFitnessPal. Scan the barcode on the thing you're about to eat, and it uploads it into your thing. You just say, I had 1 serving or 1 cup or whatever, and it does the calculations for you. It is not that hard. And if you have your favorite meals, you eat the same thing most mornings like I do, whatever, I'm walking out the door with my protein bar, awesome. Just save it. It's not that hard to do. Here's the thing though, that's macros. It will tell me at the end of the day, I've got this much protein, this many carbs, and this much fat, and this is exactly how many calories I crushed. Every day, I can follow that. Okay, I follow that, and carb controlled. I mix these two. Knowing that carbs are the devil. They just are, sorry. They're not evil. They have the potential to be evil. You have to portion out your carbs. You can do this on every other day I do low carbs. You can do this as I never go over 120 carbs in a day. You can do this as if I'm going to overdo some carbs, I'm also going to go run 3 miles. I don't care how you do it, but you have to watch your carbs. You do that, you do a macros, you're going to crush it. And here's why. You step on the scale every morning right after you pee, you move over, you get on your scale, and weigh yourself. I know exactly how many calories I took, protein, carbs, fat. There it is. I do the same exercise regimen pretty much every week, and I'm watching my weight. Does your weight go up? Does your weight go down? What's it doing? Watch your weight. If I do somewhere around, 3,400 calories a day, and I'm losing 1 pound a day, perfect. And 1 pound a day, that's a little much. Maybe 2 pounds a week, that's perfect. Perfect. 52 weeks in a year. 52 weeks in a year. Do the math. Lose it slow, you won't put it back on. Lose it too fast, it'll come right back on you super fast. Anyway, you're asking, do your research. Here it is. Macros, carb controlled, in a perfect world. But good luck, because it's tough. Because eventually that phone is boring. And I can't have my macchiato, 430 calorie Starbucks, whatever thing in my bottle. And sometimes you want that. So I'm going to teach you how to earn it. All right, moving on. Here we go. These are the bonuses. All right, we're going to get to this later, where this doesn't work anymore. All right, so that happened. All right, bonus, exercise, medications, and supports. And then the last one is what I tell my peeps, my patients. Okay, exercise. Gold star. Here it goes. I know you're going to hate hearing this, period. Number one, 168 years of research will tell you exercise is the number one way to keep off the weight you lost. It also will help you lose the weight, but if you want to keep it off, you want to stay fit, exercise. I know. It's painful. It's painful. It's painful. No doubt. I'm going to give you the best advice that was ever given to me. In finances, there's this thing called pay yourself first. It is the best way to save more money than you ever thought you could. What does that mean? That means you get a paycheck and you have a choice. You can pay your bills, pay for your car, pay your this, go get the groceries, and then whatever money you have left, you can blow that, right? Because you took care of everything else. Here's the deal. Pay yourself first. So in the finance world, if you get your paycheck and you say, I'm investing 10% and I'm going to take out a couple $100 for fun for me, and then everything else, pays the bills, does this, groceries, whatever. Then whatever's left over, what do you do with it? I already paid myself. Well, you throw that back into investments and you will save much more money than you ever dreamed. Now, same thing in exercise. Pay yourself first. How's that work? Get up. Get up early. Unfortunately, 24 hours in a day doesn't change. It is not going to change for you. How do you handle it? You get up earlier. You go to bed later. When you get home, you say, I just need 30 minutes. 30 minutes. You don't pick up your phone. You don't do any of that stuff. You know, I've made rules in my life. You know, you get up, you don't get to make coffee, you don't get to do anything. You roll over onto that Peloton, that stationary bike, you go put on your tennis shoes, the pavement is free. The pavement is free. It's just the truth. Now, as far as my favorite exercises go, you guys know I am not a cycler and I am not a swimmer. I am short. It happens. One, it's not funny. It's not funny. One, a stationary bike. There's no question. You can go to Goodwill and for $15 get the crappiest bike you can find. I dare you. I don't need you to turn the resistance all the way up. I need you in the first 2 minutes to break a sweat. That's it. Go hard. And I'm also old, somebody put on there. That's great. Thank you. Yes, I am. Speaking of which, we'll do a hormone talk and how dieting affects you as you age. That's a nice talk. Yeah, I'm experiencing it. All right. Exercise bike. First 2 minutes, sweat. The next 38 minutes, just pedal. Just pedal. You don't have to do anything else. You broke your sweat. You're slightly short of breath. You pedal. Put on your favorite TV show and get lost in it. Read a book. I don't care. Sweat dripping down your face. Love it. Love it. But that is paying yourself first. Get it done. Swimming laps, evidently, they've ranked that as number 2 exercise in the world that's good for you, right? And neither one of these are that hard on the joints. Now, pounding the pavement is hard, but if you like the outside and you want to get out there, get it done. And they say walking is as good as running or jogging, but you got to walk briskly. If you're walking with your partner, it should sound like this. Hey, honey, how was your day? It was good. Can we talk about this later? Why? You could have a conversation, but you just don't want to because you're working hard. That's how it should sound. Get it done. 40 minutes. That's a magic number. It should be 40 minutes. And it needs to be consecutive. It has to be at a time. And I strongly recommend 4 times a week or more. Do 7. Do 7. Surprise yourself. All right, medications. Yes, we have medications that help. There are so many new medications out there. And everybody's trying to get on this board because it's a huge market. I mean, it's tons of money. Tons of money in this. Okay, let's go back. Remember Fin? That was a great drug. I mean, basically, it was legal speed. The problem was it caused arrhythmias and killed people. So it wasn't that many people, but it was just enough to shut the drug down. Okay, it has a little cousin. Its little cousin is phentermine. And if it's appropriate for you, it is a great way to kickstart your diet. Why not? Gives you a little oomph, and it makes you less hungry. So you use it at the beginning of your diet. Shrink your stomach down, get your calories set up, knock your macros back, do your Atkins diet. Here's the truth, people. We are driven by our own success. It's just the truth. If you are dieting your butt off and you've lost 5 pounds in like 3 weeks of what you felt was starving yourself, well, where's the love then? There's no fun, and you are not going to stay on that diet. That's just the truth. Okay, driven by our own success. Maybe squeeze a little, talk to your doctor, because it takes a prescription. Start some phentermine. Get going. It's a great way to kickstart your diet. Here's the deal. It is not a permanent tool. You can't use it forever. It doesn't even work forever. It starts to wear off. Your body gets used to it. It's a great way to start a diet. What is great is learning how to eat properly, healthy, exercise, get your butt in gear. You know, I think my cousin Bianca said one time, she had got it from somewhere else, but I loved it. She said, I work out so that I can eat. And I thought, that's interesting. I like that. If she's going to pay the price in her workouts, just so she can eat a little more of what she wants, fine. Go to work. So what do? If I want a bowl of ice cream at nighttime, I put on my tennis shoes and I go earn it. Here's the deal with earning it. I'll be honest with you. I have regret, right? Buyer's remorse. I look at a bowl of ice cream while I'm eating it and I'm like, I shouldn't be eating this. This is so bad for me. Okay. Yes, it is. Let's reverse that. I look at the ice cream and I'm like, I want that. I love mint chocolate chip ice cream, if anybody's asked me. I love it, actually. My father loves peppermint ice cream at Christmas time. It's good. It's true. They only sell it at Christmas time. All right, now, I look at the ice cream and I go, I want that. 310 calories. What do I got to do? I go strap on some shoes. I walk out the door. Literally 16 minutes later, I'm 310 calories down. I feel great. I walk in the door, shower off. I pound that ice cream. No regrets. I loved it. And I go to bed. Does it stop there? No. I ramped up my metabolism with that run. My run didn't stop at 310 calories. It kept going. Ultimately, I'll probably burn something like 500 calories from that run, where I get a gross negative after eating that ice cream. I have no regrets, no remorse. That's how you do it. All right. Support. Oh, well, the other medications, there's Contrave, which just helps you with like carb control. Like I crave, like if you walk in and you're like one Oreo cookie, right? And then you walk by it and like 2, 3, and then 10 Oreo cookies later, you can't stop yourself. I'm just going to open the bag of chips. Just have a couple. Yeah, the problem is you eat the whole bag. So Contrave helps with that. I think it is a great drug. Problem is it's $300 a pop. Who's got $300 a month? They want to just dive into something, right? And what happens when you stop the drug? They have all these other drugs. My sister texted me one, and a friend of hers was asking about last night. It's great. All these all-natural products. It's great. What's the average weight loss? To me, it's like the balloon. You know, the balloon. It's not a surgery. We just insert a balloon in your stomach and blow it up, and you feel full all the time. Great. You also throw up for the first 2 to 3 weeks. The average weight loss is 26 pounds over 6 months. Then they take it out, and 95% of people regain their weight in the next 6 weeks to 6 months. And it costs you what? $7 grand? $9 grand? Why? Why would you do that? There's only one reason I can think of, and it's not even a good reason. So we won't even talk about it. All right. Support. FFF. Friends, families, and fitness centers. I hate to say it. You can't do this alone. You can't. Unless you're like crazy OCD and you're a super loner, which most people aren't. You need a friend. You need a family member. You need someone to hold you, what we say, it's a big word, accountable. That's a big deal. Someone needs to hold you accountable. And you need to hand the keys over. Because what you've been doing if you want to lose weight, what you've been doing is not working, you need help. Get a friend. They can either do it with you, they can hold you accountable. If it's your family or loved one, they walk in and you're eating the wrong thing, you've got to give them permission to give you a hard time. And you're not allowed to be grumpy back. And that's how that works. Or you do it together and you go, let's wipe out our fridge. Let's just get on this. Let's do this together. And it's not a 6-week thing. It's a life thing. Exercise. I don't feel like a dick. I don't care. Let's go. You get your hiney out the door. And you know, as soon as you do it and you start it, you feel better about it. It's like working out. You hate to do it, but then afterwards you're like, glad I did that. All right. What I tell my peeps, and then I'm going to get into some questions because we got some really great questions. Okay, when you come into my office, I'm going to save you a visit. Ready? I'm going to just tell you what it is I tell people. I'm going to sit down here because I'm old, evidently. All right. You walk in, I tell you a couple things. I believe personally that the more rules that you put on somebody, the less likely you are to succeed. I just feel that way. I feel like life has taught me some of those lessons. I think that there are diets out there that are very good. I think that Weight Watchers is very good. I do. The problem is, they hold you accountable, right? It's great. It's a camaraderie. It is wonderful. Here's the problem, though. You don't stay on that diet. You don't sustain it. And there's rules, right? There's lots of rules. It's like the macros thing. It's the perfect diet. Carb-controlled macros diet, in my opinion. Here's the problem. You gonna stick on it? Here's the deal. Less rules, more success. 1, if you want to lose weight and lose it fast, I start everybody on a hardcore, low-carb, high-protein diet. We just go at it. My rules are, 1, you must eat 3 meals a day. I tell people that because I think that you shouldn't go more than at least 12 hours between meals because your body's going to start thinking that you're starving or there's a famine. Your body is not intelligent. It doesn't know, right? And I'll talk about intermittent fasting. It's in one of the questions. I think there's some really good things about that, so I'm not knocking on that. But in my opinion, if you want to do this long term, I don't think you should go that long between eating because your body will shut it down. It says there's a famine, I haven't eaten, I need to conserve. You hibernate and you stop burning calories. That's a problem. So I tell my people 3 meals a day. I'm like, I don't care if you're not a big breakfast person, drink a protein shake. I don't care if you're not a big luncher, drink a protein shake. Rule number 2, snacking is a very bad invention. It's baloney. It's not a meal. Nobody named anything after it. Not break fast, right? Not breakfast, not lunch, it's not dinner. It's a snack. Snacking is junk. And what did we do for snacks? Anything we can reach our hand into or a bag we can open, it's junk. Right? It's junk. Even nuts, things that are good for you. Brazilian nuts, almonds, they're good for me. Yeah, a little palmful, but every time you reach your hand into it and every time you walk through the kitchen, you grab another one. Bad. Snacking is out. You get 3 meals a day. If you don't make it from breakfast to lunch, whose fault is that? You don't make it from lunch to dinner or dinner to breakfast. Whose fault is that? It's yours, because you didn't eat enough at breakfast to get you to lunch and lunch to get you to dinner. Snacking is out. And by the way, if you burn in the fire of starvation, your stomach hurts, I'm starving. Burn. Because here's the deal. You'll never do it again. Right? You'll eat more at breakfast and more at lunch to get you to those next meals. All right. That was rule number 2, no snacking. Rule number 1, 3 meals a day. Rule number 3, for a fast weight loss, in the beginning, long term, I'm going to try to switch you over to something that's long term healthy for you. A low fat, moderate carb, moderate protein. But in the beginning, I'm going to hit you hard with basically a super low carb, high protein diet. So, if it's not protein, it doesn't go in your mouth. Period. I don't put calorie amount on you. I don't put that you have to chase your macros. I would love that. I used to do that. And my patients weren't super successful. Why? Too many rules. They had to log that stuff. It worked for like 3 weeks and then they were done with it. Can't do that long term unless that's your thing. If that's your thing, it's the perfect diet. Do it. Do it. But it doesn't work for most people. All right, so if it's not protein, it doesn't go in your mouth. I usually give people one exception in the beginning. Spinach. You can eat all the spinach you want. You can eat a box of spinach. Totally cool with that. It'll bring your iron up. Yes, people say, oh, it'll give you oxalate kidney stones. Yes, it will if you eat it for years and that's all you eat. So no, it won't do that. I'm not worried about that. So spinach. I didn't say you're allowed to dump oil in there or butter. I say you can steam it, you can eat it raw, you can put your fish right on, you can do all those things. Eat all the spinach you want. Everything else is protein. 3 meals a day. And then the last rule, rule number 4. The reason we defined exercise, 40 minutes, a minimum of 4 days a week. If you're trying to lose weight hardcore, do 7 in the beginning. Once you get to the weight that you want, you back it off to 4. But 40 minutes consecutive. You cannot break it up into 20 minutes and 20 minutes. I walked for 20 minutes. I went outside at my lunch break and I did 20 minutes of this. Does that count? No, because it has to be 40 minutes. You have to get slightly short of breath. If you are hardcore short of breath, that's a carbohydrate. That's a cardiac workout. That means you're burning mostly carbs. You don't want to burn carbs. You want to burn fat. Fat burning exercises are backed down a little bit. They are short of breath, but not, you're not dying, right? So it's slightly short of breath, breaking a sweat, 40 minutes consecutively, don't stop. Those are my 4 rules. We start there. When I get you to a weight that you're happy with, then we change it up a little bit, right? Because we're going into a maintenance phase, and that's different. We can talk about that another time, but that's important. All right, that's what I tell my people. Plus or minus medications if we think you're a good candidate for that or you need some help. All right, here come the questions. Some of these are great. Let's touch on, I had 2 or 3. One was from Julie, and one was from Melissa. And they said, what do you think about intermittent fasting? Okay, empirical data, scientific data would tell you that intermittent fasting is good. It is probably just as good as most other diets as far as losing weight. One of the places that it excels is for diabetics. It actually has proven scientifically to be better at glucose control. So if you're a diabetic, potentially, or you have, maybe it's in your family, or you are just like your doctor's telling you, oh, you're borderline diabetic, this is a better diet for you, probably. We'll see how it pans out, in 10 years. But right now, the preliminary data says it's better for glycemic control. So that's a good thing. So yes, I'm a fan of the diet. If you can do it. If you feel like you're starving, most people would tell you after about a week of doing it, maybe 2, it's pretty easy for them. And I would tell you that's cool. I just like my coffee with my cream in the morning. And that's a cheat. You can have black coffee as long as there's no calories. You're not cheating. So intermittent fasting for those people is great. I think it's a good diet. Great for glycemic control. Crystal, how do we break stalls? What is a stall? So if you're like trying to lose weight hardcore, and that doesn't matter if you're had a bariatric procedure or you're just trying to lose weight, like you're on an Atkins diet and you're crushing it, and you're like so proud of yourself, and you lost like 16 pounds in the first 3 weeks, and then you hit the wall. That's called a stall. Don't sweat it. Just go right into the wall. It's okay. Here's some great things. What I want you to do is do not depend on one thing to decipher your success. If the scale is the only thing you're looking at to decipher your success, no. 2 things, 3 things, all right? Those around you are coming up to you going, you look great. What are you doing? That's a bonus. That's success. 2, if the scale's telling you, I love what you're doing, and it's going down, stick with that. Success. Number 3, measurements. I believe in measurements. Measure your thighs, your belly, your booty, everything. Why? Because you're going to lose some inches. Typically in a stall, when your weight stalls, what happens is your body is redistributing fat. So you lost a ton of fat from the inside of your abdomen, and then your body's like, whoa, you've lost so much. Whoa, slow down. So it stops your weight loss, stalls you, and then what it does is it takes some of the fat and redistributes it from the rest of your body back into your intra-abdominal compartment. Well, what happens then? Well, you're not losing weight, but man, my pants are looser. I had to go another notch on my belt. How can that be happening if I'm not losing weight? You're redistributing your weight, and that's perfect. You're redistributing the fat on your body. That means it's working. So go through the stall. Typically, stalls last no more than 3 weeks. I know. Worst 3 weeks of your life. You're not losing any weight. You're trying so hard. Go through it. Okay, if you get to 2 or 3 weeks and you swear, I'm behaving myself, I'm doing it right, and you still didn't break your stall, you got to change something. You've got to trick your body. Your body is not smart. It can catch on to the tricks, give it enough time, but you can trick it. It's easy. Just change something. You're exercising at night, exercise in the morning. If you're doing weightlifting, move over to a cardio. If you're doing cardio, move over to weights. If you're doing a low carb, change to a low fat for a hot minute. It's just something like that. You do a big change in one category and your body goes, oh, okay, things changed, I'm good. Things must be all right. And you start losing again. That's super duper important. Food is medicine, Maria. Oh my God. This says, can you please open your refrigerator door and take us in there? I'll tell you what. Let me get permission from my wife, and I will take you in and show you my refrigerator. If you want to see it, I hope it's not a mess, and you're going to see my dogs and my children. I'm just going to warn you. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to save that for the last question. We will do it, as long as she's okay with that. Kelly, I'm interested in a diet nutrition for my husband, Donald. He's a diabetic and has to lose 20 pounds. I'm trying to see what I can do. He has heart issues and kidney issues. Okay, kidney issues. If nobody's ever told you, super high protein diets for people with kidney trouble is not the greatest idea, because kidneys have to flush the food that you eat, right? They flush that, and proteins are bigger. They're bigger molecules, and so the kidneys have a harder time with that. So if you have kidney trouble, I don't suggest a high protein diet. I suggest go to the low fat, moderate carb, moderate protein diet. 2, diabetics. If you ask me, diabetes is probably one of the worst diseases to ever hit mankind. I would tell you that there's a genetic aspect to that, and then there's the eating problems that we've developed in developed countries. So what would I tell your husband? If he could do it, obviously intermittent fasting, it's better for that glycemic control. But I will tell you right now, a little bit of weight goes a really long way in a diabetic. If he loses this 20 pounds, he very well may not be a diabetic anymore, or he will cut his diabetes medications in half. That's huge. I said this before, I think, and it's important. For the most part, if you're diabetic and you can get your A1C down under 6, get your sugars normal on a typical basis, whether it's with insulin or drugs, you will never suffer the problems that most diabetics do suffer, like eye problems, kidney problems, neuropathies, things like that. You won't have that because you have normal sugar. You can be a diabetic, but if you keep a tight control on it, you're going to be fine. You will not suffer those issues. Ruben, for that person who's had bariatric surgery, but a not so active lifestyle, what is more important for weight loss and health? To reach their protein goal or to remain low carb? Ooh, it's a double-edged sword, he says. All right, true, Ruben. Okay, so here's how this goes. That's a tough question. I would tell you, I'm going to say don't repeat this. You have to repeat this. This is education. Calories are more important. You only need so much protein. Now, if you're going to lift weights every day and your goal is to be Mr. Olympian, you need a massive amount of protein. I think the average person, if you take your lean body mass, is a little different than your weight, but if you take your lean body mass and you want to build muscle, not break it down, right? So you want to be anabolic, not catabolic. You need 1.8 grams per kilogram of body weight, right? Then I would say if you are an athlete, right, a pretty good athlete, you need about 2.4 grams per kilogram of lean body mass. And then, it goes up as high as like hardcore athletes will do, 3.4, 3.5 grams of protein per kilogram. I think that's crazy. It's super duper high, but there's a lot of bodybuilders that do that. But how much protein do you really need? I would tell you that the recommended daily allowance, the RDA, I would tell you, I think it's actually a little high. We are excellent at recycling proteins. There's only a few proteins that our body can't make. We break down our muscle, we break down our skin, but your body will recycle that. So you could probably get away with, I mean, some people even say as low as 30 to 60 grams of protein in a day and be healthy. I think the problem is you're going to see maybe some hair loss. Your nails won't be as shiny. Your skin won't be as pretty. But if you had to do calories versus protein, I think I'd take the calories. That's a great question. All right. Oh, there's the older women question. That is so tough. I might save that one for a talk of itself. There's premenopause and postmenopause, and hormones play a huge part. In fact, let me just touch on that. You're trying to lose weight. You swear you are doing it. You're nailing it. I'm ketoed out. I'm doing the calories. I'm counting my macros, and I don't lose any weight. You need to go see your doctor. You need to get your estrogen checked. You need to get your thyroid checked. You need to get your parathyroid checked. We need to look at your adrenal tumors. You need to get all your cortisone levels checked. This is important. Because if you're putting in the time and effort and it's not working, maybe you have some serious hormone imbalances. And those things need to be checked out. I'm going to tell you right now, men, at 35, your testosterone starts going down. By 50, you're certainly feeling it. And you take a man and you give him a testosterone replacement and put his testosterone levels where he was when he was 30, 22, all of a sudden, central obesity just disappears. And he looks, feels, and acts like a young buck again. It is a huge difference. Same goes for women. So, bioidenticals. That's the word you type into Google. That's really, really, really important. Okay. I think we're good. I think I talked about the stall. Barbara has asked a question about stalls. That's good. All right, I think we nailed it. So, we're going to go look in my fridge. All right, my family's home. My dogs are loud. Don't make fun of this. And then we're out. All right, come on. Come on. The house is probably dirty. Hi, honey. We're going to look in the fridge. All right. Welcome to my kitchen. All right. This is not my kitchen. This is my wife's kitchen. Let's be very honest with this. All right. Come on over. Let's look at this. All right. So, I hope it's not scary in here. All right. Okay. So, let's look. Okay. On the top, we keep the sauces and things like that. Here. So, we love these things. Get the most bang for your buck. Coconut almond milk blend, 45 calories per serving, half and half. Almond, love this stuff. Despite the controversy, I do love Fairlife milk. I think if you've never tasted it, it is amazing. Love Fairlife milk. Chobani Greek yogurt, bang for your buck, right? So, from a standpoint of protein, you can get massive amount of proteins in your Greek yogurt, right? So, why not? Now, here's the problem. See these fruits? That's a problem. Your fruit, if you're on a low carb, like an Atkins type diet, you don't need that. So get the plain Greek yogurt. I actually tell my patients, which is funny, get a plain Greek yogurt, has lots of protein in it. You can get up to 17 to 27 grams of protein in one of those Greek yogurts. And take, if you don't know it, like Mios drops, which are like, you put those in your water, literally, and get it to taste like anything you want. You want grape, you want strawberry, you get your grape and strawberry, you put a couple drops, stir it in, all of a sudden you are eating Greek yogurts, and you're getting all the calorie benefit from not having the fruit and the carbs, and you get the taste that you want. All right, we got, thank you, Vicky. You'll know who you are. So, tuna, salmon, fresh. My wife makes fun of me. I call them chickpeas. She says, no, they're chickpeas, and she's right. Here. Quinoa. Wonderful replacement for rice. My favorite thing in the world, thank you, Alabama. Wickles. If you've never had a wickle, it's a wicked pickle. I can't believe we're doing this. This is ridiculous. We got eggs, we got meat, we got mayonnaise because it is high fat, but God, it's good. All right. Here's the cheese drawer and the deli meat drawer. Oh, you gotta look in there. Yeah, that's the fruit drawer and the vegetable drawer. Zucchini and raspberries and strawberries and limes. And what's down here? Oh, more of the same. So there you go. Seasons, avocados, things of that nature. And of course, I tell people this all the time. This is important. This is where the magic happens. All right? Make your food taste good. Food doesn't have to be bland if you're on a diet. All right? Rubs and certain sauces that are low calorie, or you put them in and you marinate them in a Ziploc bag the night before, and you get great taste without having to soak it in some barbecue sauce. Right? All right. So, Juno, so the dogs are very, very interested in our talk. Other than this, there's pantries. I don't think you want to look at my pantries. This is just junk. All the stuff we cook with. All right, I think this is probably where we're going to wrap it up. Dr. Rad signing out. If you like it, please share it. And then post your questions. I'll try to answer as many of them as I possibly can. All right. God bless.